We're just gonna go straight down alphabetical order. Looks like there's a bunch of healer changes. It doesn't look like there's anything game wise, so it's all just bugs and heroes. So let's check it out. Blaze shield amount increase from 530 to 590. I still don't know if this is ever any good. I really, really, really am not a fan of Blaze tank. So Blaze offlaner doesn't really use stem pack. The neural stem pack is mute this. The neural stem pack is actually okay. This is one that if you're doing a lot of soaking and a lot of things, you need this mana, and 30 seconds kind of gives you the opportunity for it to be there twice in a long fight. 40 seconds kind of feels like a miniature heroic. So to be able to have that on a 30-second cooldown should mean that he can fight a little bit more often and a little bit more frequently in a fight. Although it's not too terrible. Grill and kill. Look, Crossfire is still really good by hitting for 139, but this is somewhat appealing. I don't think it's really good, but I think there's a time and a place, and for it to go from 20 to 35% is not bad. The adhesive petroleum from 35 to 40%. This is just you're already slowing and then stunning and then hopefully having somebody to CC with you. I feel like they're trying to make this more of a tank thing, but nobody plays Blaze as a tank, and I don't blame them. Like, none of this takes away from Blaze as a tank. If anything, this right here empowers Blaze even more in the off lane. It's not game changing for what he does. And Grill and Kill, we'll have to see the math on this. I don't think this is really going to do much of anything. 16 damage every 0.3 seconds. So 16 damage times 35%. It's kind of like having a level 13 like burning aura, like a lot of characters have. But you can have two of these. So I don't think that's going to do the same amount as a crossfire. But then again, that's a skill shot. This one's not. You're normally trying to hit both flames anyways on people. So we'll see. I will definitely be trying this. I'll definitely be trying this. 35% of 16 is not a lot, so you have to have them stand in it for a long time. Nano machine coating. His 13s are some of the best in the game, reducing attack speed. So enemies standing in oil spills and ignited oil spills have their attack speed reduced by 50% for 3 seconds. This falls right into the tank build. But as I said before, both of these are really good for what Blaze does as a tank or an offlaner. So I think this does kind of threaten for Blaze to kind of have that rise back up in the solo lane department. But none of these, like this would be the biggest one. This would be kind of minuscule. So they're kind of buffing bad talents, except for this one. This one's really good depending on the team you're facing. So they definitely didn't want to overpower him in the solo laner role. So that's good. We'll see what happens there. Slow and blind duration increase from 1.5 to 1.75. That's actually really good. May's blind build is pretty rough, and it looks like we're going to see it right here. So slow and blind damage increase from 1.5 to 1.75. That makes her better as a tank. You should always be targeting things with Tychus being so relevant right now. You should always be blinding a Tychus. When he's got minigun up, or a Zul'jin, or somebody that's walking up and doing a lot of auto attack damage. So having the baseline increase is actually pretty good. Heavy pack cooldown reduction from 0.25 to 0.5 seconds. Additional functionality each time Blizzard damages an enemy hero, gain 3 mana. You definitely have mana issues. Now I like that they put this to where it's whenever you damage a hero and not whenever you damage an enemy, because getting mana back is part of this whole thing. They're kind of making it so that when you go into these other talents where you're getting mana back and trying to do different things with your combo and cooldown reduction into flurry and into cold front, it helps. But increasing the duration of snowblind slow to 1.5 seconds is cool. But let's read this. Increase the duration of Snowblind's slow by 1.5 seconds. So it's now 3.25 second slow. Each time Blizzard damages an enemy hero, they have to be very delicate with how they handle these. The reason I'm talking about that is because if they try and do this too much, she'll end up in the exact same role as Blaze, to where she's a ranged tank that turns into an offlaner. So they have to make sure not to give her too much wave clear. Bonus final stun damage increase from 125 to 150. Every third hit against an enemy or against enemy heroes deals damage, so it's not minions. But this is against all enemies, so 150% of nothing is not bad. So 75 damage increased by 150% is nowhere near as terrifying. I don't think that makes it good enough for wave clear. And I tell you guys, if you're tanking, stop using your W for wave clear if you have heroes beside you. Just auto attack and use Q if you have to. Using a 14-second cooldown on something that does 75 damage and a little bit of tick damage in between, you're wasting. If somebody comes to kill you or you're trying to rotate now to gank somebody, 14 seconds is a ridiculously long time to not have CC. Stop using this for wave clear, please. Slush Ball, bonus damage increase from 50 to 75%. So the extra damage increased in the disabling structures. So they're trying to buff up her blind build. This is a little curious, though. The more that they put this in here to get mana back and to do more damage does make her more brawly. Nobody normally picks Slush Ball, so I don't know how I feel about that. Cold Front, adjusted functionality. Reduce the cooldown of icing by 4 seconds. If Mei enters her own blizzard while icing is active, the cooldown of icing is reduced by 5 seconds, and she gains 80 mana. Okay, so this is a pretty big change. To just straight up reduce the cooldown is one thing. Now, normally you're trying to QWE or WE at worst. You get the slow, and then you get them locked in here. And that way there's no fall off, and then you knock them back into it. So getting cooldown on one ability but not the other doesn't normally make sense. And so that's one of the hard parts. So if Mei enters her own blizzard while it's active, the cooldown of icing is reduced by 5 seconds. And this is just mobility. So 14 seconds. They have identical cooldown reductions. So they pair very well together. They also combo together very well. So if you're committing to E at 1, you're probably committing to W at 13. And we'll talk about that as it looks like it's down here. So adjusted the functionality, reduce the cooldown by 4 seconds. So now you have a 10-second mobility button, which is pretty good. And then getting the mana back is the main thing. So entering your own blizzard while it's active, get the cooldown of icing is reduced by 5 seconds. So it goes from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. And you consider travel time in there. So it makes it easy to get in and out. Anubarak is like, hello, I would like something similar. So we'll take a look at this. Ice wall from 70 to 50 seconds. We'll see. If you're gonna ice wall, you can ice wall and then blizzard below it so that they get rooted and stunned when they come out. Cooldown reduction increase from 100 to 125%. So I think they're trying to make sure, I don't know the exact math. While in her own blizzard, Mei gains 50% increased attack speed, and Blizzard's cooldown refreshes 125% faster. So if you take that into consideration, 100% faster is 7 seconds, 125% faster is roughly that same time frame that you're getting off of Cold Front. It does kind of require you to stand in it almost the full duration. You can see they're trying to build that synergy between your 4 and your 13. This 4 doesn't necessarily mean you have to go that at 13, but if you want to make some like big time plays, I think that's the way to do it. Crystallize still just so good. So they tried to balance these around here, but these talents are also really good. So we'll see if that kind of breaks Mei and that build in. They've been slowly buffing a lot around that, but they just don't work. So we'll see if that 4-13 combo works or whether the 4 just works on its own. The damage increase stuff I think are still traps. But we'll see if maybe Mei with some of this mana return might actually give her some offlane duty in like a Battlefield of Eternity, to where wave clear is not really important, but brawling is. This might bring her up into some unique situations. Diva has been OP for a long time. Mech health reduced from 2250 to 2150, and health regen reduced. Those are pretty big nerfs. When you consider that's the same as like a butcher, imagine having that plus an extra health bar. So Diva nerfs, healthy. Bunny hop. Damage increase from 52 to 70. I still don't think you go away from the missiles at all. Missiles are still pretty strong, but that is a really, really large buff on Bunny Hop. That is a really large buff. I don't think it really takes away from micro missiles. Having this slow on micro missiles is enough. Having the cooldown reduction on this is nice. Having this for poke damage is nice. Having this for chasing people is nice. I don't think that this overtakes micro missiles. I really don't. Gaslow. Thank goodness we're getting some Gaslow nerfs. Explodium charge nerfed. That's about a what is that, like an 9% nerf? Almost, yes, like a 9.5% nerf. So that's good. We really needed this. Gravo bomb, inconsequential bonus range increase from 50 to 30. I think that's pretty good. That takes away a lot of the so right now Gaslow is pretty strong in general. He's, I'd say, much more nerfed than he was when we originally got him. When you consider the amount of poke damage that he gets on this, it's really hard to engage on that, and you're taking constant poke damage, and you have to have somebody on turret duty, and depending on what build he went, can be really good. So I like these nerfs. I think that we'll need to see another round of nerfs, potentially. I still think the turrets need less health and or less damage. I think that's the biggest problem right now more than anything. Here's the one I think we all probably wondered about. Hogger, health reduced. Not a huge nerf. Health regen reduced. Loot horde, meat duration reduced from 5 to 4 seconds. I don't think that really matters. I don't think this is small. It'll be hard to really gauge and get that feel. It's not like a massive nerf where you're going to feel it. Health regen. .83 to 4.71 on the meat duration. That one I'm not worried about. Journeyman cooking, health healing increased from 6 to 8% maximum health. I told you guys, like, all these talents that were bad, they're gonna buff, and now they're buffing them. Get some water. All right, journeyman cooking from 6 to 8%. That's when you hit your dynamite. So that's a pretty big buff, and that would potentially pair well with this. Potentially. On the prowl, cooldown reduced from 45 to 40 seconds. Healing per second increased from 6 to 9. I don't know if that necessarily pushes it past the 10 armor that you get from this. And then you also get the extra meat, which is what's OP about this. So, yeah. I don't think it's going to do that great, but you heal for 9 health every second, increased by 2% per rage. I guess that actually might be okay. When you go from 6 to 9, that's a 33% increase. And then if you have a bunch of rage, that gets increased by 2% per point of rage. So you have potential for a lot more healing now. That one actually is going to be fun to watch to see if anybody pulls that off. Bonus for hitting enemy heroes into terrain increased from 2 to 8. Maximum bonus damage increase from 100 to 125. I mean, I still don't think auto attack build is the way to go unless they super buff something else. Aggro range, bonus rage against non-heroic enemies reduced from 1 to 0.5. Thank goodness. He was doing camps and everything so fast. Bonus rage against enemy heroes reduced from 3 to 2. This one's kind of inconsequential, because you'll find a way to build up rage prior to all that. So I don't think this one's too big. This one's, I don't know, just it's very dependent on certain variables. So I don't worry about this too much. I don't think it's that big of a nerf, but it will slow down the ramp up time of certain play styles. There's certain times where you ramp up from just going E. There's a lot of other times where you ramp up before you ever press E. Attack speed bonus increase from 25 to 35%. Again, they're trying to buff all the auto attack stuff. So there's auto at 4, 7, and the heal is at 13. I don't really see auto attack builds on heroes like this that have enough sustainability to make it worth it. Loot Horde cooldown reduction from 4 to 2 seconds. That's actually a really big nerf. If you've played Hogger, you know the level 1 talent into Garbage Fire is actually really powerful. So the damage reduction on this, the AoE damage has actually been pretty OP. The slow on this being 20% is very frustrating as well. And only reducing the cooldown of this is what paired so well with the level 1 talent of Bones the Gnaw. So there was only like 16 seconds downtime, which was really strong. And when you consider the amount of armor and the duration that you have armor, it was really good. So this is a pretty big nerf for Hogger players. I don't think it will necessarily change a lot of what he does. I hope we get a level 13 armor nerf. We're about to find out. Hortipult damage reduced. That's good considering the amount of ways you could use this. And Hortipult from 50 to 60 seconds. It's not crazy to go from 50 to 60. I think it's like very niche situations to try and balance this. You can use this to engage or to disengage, so having this on a healthy cooldown is okay. Primary stun duration increase, primary damage increased, and secondary damage increase. I still don't think it takes away from the mobility that you get from Hortipult. Dust Devil. Okay, so we did get nerfs. Armor bonus when below 50 rage reduced from 30 to 20, and when above 50 rage from 50 to 40. That's still a lot of armor. But that is definitely better. Slow duration increase from 1.5 to 2. I don't think that matters at all. Wait. Okay. I don't think that matters at all. No buff to the auto attack build. So you buffed the level 4 talent, so you could get more auto attack damage and faster. And the auto attack buff here. I'm just not seeing the value. Okay, I'm just not seeing the value. Level 16 Kablooey increased what is that, from 40 to 50%. So detonations deal 50% more damage when you consider they do 180, so you're looking at 270 overall, and reduce its cooldown by 1.5 seconds. These are on instant ones and increase its slow amount. I don't know if I necessarily like that too much. You kind of have to go into level 7 into the level 1. The level 1 is probably the most interesting buff, to go from 6 to 8%, because you still have all kinds of things that you can use. But they buffed the 2 bad talents. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how I feel right now. I think the level 7 nerf is probably the biggest. This one's also pretty big. So the E build has been nerfed. I told you guys the number one thing that you have a problem with Hogger is his E build. Just because it's unstoppable and you use something like that, it makes it so that he's very difficult to kill. Right now, Tychus has been his best counter by far. So if you don't have a Tychus on your team, you're normally in a lot of trouble. I think these are pretty good nerfs. And it's going to take a little bit of play to see if the E-build nerf is enough. If the E-build nerf is enough, are the other buffs better? And at first glance, I don't really know if On the Prowl is going to feel that much better. If Journeyman Cooking is going to feel that much better. Getting the Rage into a potential Brute Force into, I mean, even getting the extra healing here might be okay, into like some type of auto attack build. I just don't see that as a thing. Like, auto attack build just doesn't seem likely for Hogger. Imperius damage bonus per Valor's brand reduced from 1. Thank goodness. We're finally getting it. We're finally getting what made Imperius broken for so long. For so long. Armor amount reduced from 25 to 20. We're getting there. We're actually getting there. Shield amount reduced. We're getting somewhere. Oh my goodness. We're fine. Now imagine Imperius 6 months ago. 6 months ago. He was so broken with his Q talents. Maybe it was 4 to 5 months ago. I think we're past the Imperius tank, and we're back to Imperius being a situational Q build, but also bringing back the trait build at level 1, which is so strong. Ragnaros, damage bonus per hit increased from 5 to 6%. Each time an enemy is hit by the same living bomb, they take 6% increased damage. It does a decent amount of damage. Huh. Curious. Molten Power, new functionality. Okay. If, wait, is this to take off blistering attacks? No. Wait, which one? Oh, Molten Power. That's the Meteor one. New functionality. If living meteor hits enemy heroes at least 5 times, then reduce its cooldown by... Oh my! Oh my! Well, anybody ready for a lot of Ragnaroses in your game? That is very appealing. That is very appealing. Huh. Huh. Oh, who's ready for some meatballs? Ragnarok. Okay. Just so we're aware, Ragnaros is about to do a lot of damage. I need you all to prepare for the fact that you're going to have a lot of Ragnaroses with a lot of damage and probably 6 deaths on their game. But to be fair, at least with this build, Ragnaros can kind of play like Thrall, is that he does do good auto attack damage. He does have, some good up close in your face damage when, like Wind Fury is similar to charging up your hammer. You have movement speed on your E, which also does a little bit of damage. But now you have a little bit of poke with your meatball. That's scary. That's scary. Anduin. All right, let's move on to the healers. If Holy Word's Salvation lasts for its full duration, then we're doing... They should put something on it like it's kind of like Lily's. I don't like if it casts its full duration. I guess if like you use it like slightly out of combat, I think that's what they're trying to go with. It's not that long of a cooldown. So if you use it out of combat, then it's not that bad. That's pretty much its main use. Desperate Prayer reduced from 40 to 30. Desperate Prayer is really a niche situation. Heavy Burden, adjusted functionality. Detainment Strike slows enemy heroes by 20% for 2.5 seconds. Slow in duration, doubled on enemies it stuns. Oh, there's no way I don't go repeated offense. Like, that is still so good. 20% slow baseline, though, is pretty good. Can help peel, but this is a lot of damage. And the range on this is kind of the big one. Do I want to knock them back 25% or do I want to slow them by 20%? Like, if I'm already knocking them backwards, what good is it going to do to slow them? Slow and... Okay, hold on. Slow and duration are doubled on enemies it stuns. So we're talking about a 40% slow for 5 seconds. That might be good on, like, Cursed. Because normally you have to play at a range where this gives you the extra knockback range so that you can guarantee the stuns. This allows you to play a lot more aggro. But let's say you miss, you die. Is it worth the trade-off? Is it worth the trade-off? I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with that's not worth the trade-off. Let's see. Brightwing, Safety Dust, adjusted functionality. Increase Pixie Dust duration by 1 second. Soothing Mist and Blink Heal. Heal allies with an active Pixie Dust for 75% more. Okay, hold on. All right, increase the duration by 1 second. So you now have movement speed and spell armor for 4 seconds. Soothing Mist and Blink Heal. Heal allies. Okay, they're taking away the Z value. They're taking away the Z value. Okay. That's why it's readjusted. They're taking away the Z value. Okay. Because that thing was pretty crazy strong. I think that's very much needed. Very much needed. Adds another charge? If there's... Hold on. I don't want to sit on this too long. I just want to see if there's a cooldown reduction on this or not. I just want to see if there's a cooldown reduction or I can just cast 2 at a time. So there's a brief cooldown. Oh, whoops. All right, so there's a 1 second cooldown between casts. That's still pretty neat, though. Better than the cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction was kind of memey. Let's see. Good vibration. So that's actually a somewhat used talent. Boombox. Boombox no longer has a duration. What? What? That's an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm assuming, you know what? I'm assuming you can only have 1 down. I'm assuming you can only have 1 down. Let's check. Yeah, it definitely has an HP bar. Like it's kind of like an ally, like from Kerosene. It's basically a ward. It's basically a ward. I just want to do this natural instead of like cooldowns. I'm assuming I can only have 1. Yeah, okay. That's good. But it does act as a really good ward. And the fact that I can go put it somewhere, leave it there, and the enemy team now has to take time out to destroy it means that they either have to dismount or they just stays there. And then I got 20 seconds and I do it again. That's not game changing. The shield one's pretty cool though. The shield one is actually pretty cool. The shield one I think is pretty decent. It allows all these aggro Lucio players to be even more aggro because it's got a multiplier by hitting enemy heroes. So depending on the map, could be better than others. High five, cooldown increase from 15 to 20 seconds. Mana cost, additional functionality, heals the Lucio for 125 and grants him unstoppable for 1 second. Now we're talking. I don't know why this has been that way for so long. However, this is a really big nerf. A really big nerf. This might actually kill the talent before you ever read the rest of this. But it does allow Lucio to at least go in. I don't know if you have to hit them first with this or whether it's on cast. I assume it's on cast so that you can actually make it to the person you're trying to hit. Plus, you can use this for safety. So this is actually pretty cool. But this might actually be enough to just make it not viable. Up to 11, no longer an activated ability. Adjusted functionality. Increase the duration of amp it up by 1 second. So that's it. Rejuve, depending on who your tank is always going to be the play. But up to frequency, I've always liked, because the increased auto attack range and then the cooldown, this is a lot more healing throughput. This is kind of like the in-between. So it kind of takes care of 3 situations where this one's never wrong, this one can sometimes be wrong, and this one can sometimes be wrong, but is less wrong. Let's see. Summer Anthem, 75 seconds to 60 seconds, adjusted functionality. Now also affects Lucio. Okay. Okay. That's big. That's actually really big. So I talk about heroic cooldowns a lot on this. 60 seconds means it's available for every single team fight. A heroic. From like level 10 on. 60 seconds, it's definitely available for every major team fight late game. If you're picking this up at level 20, death timers are already 65 to 70 seconds. So the odds of you benefiting from 75 to 60 second cooldown is basically zero, unless somehow you're having to fight 4v4 in a minute to win something like an objective if the enemy team gets the objective. That's really all about it. Or you're trying to fight like 3v4 or something crazy. But the fact that it affects Lucio now kind of will be really crazy, because you're now going to have all these aggro Lucio players that are going shields and all this stuff that are basically dying by running in all the time, will now be able to save themselves, and it won't matter for the team. Mixing fire no longer increases the duration of amp it up by 1 second. Additional functionality, reduce the cost and cooldown. Oh, so 10 seconds. So that actually is much more appealing, and the fact that I can use this on enemy heroes is good, and they lowered the mana cost as a result of this, which means I can be even more aggro. You still got to get to 20 though. Still got to get to 20. Reactive ballista spores. All right, bye-bye Stukov meta. Bye-bye Stukov meta. Fetid touch? Nope. Big slow. Or big sad. This is actually... Goodbye Stukov meta. Although you shouldn't have to trigger reactive ballista spores twice in a fight. Triggering it once is still really good. Normally triggering it once is enough to turn a fight. So I don't think he's that dead, but you know, we'll see. Dang, imagine going low blow with a good coordinated team. Biotic armor reduced from 15 to 10. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye Stukov meta. What is this talent? Didn't even know this existed. Can I just get like one solid F in chat for Stukov? Like, this isn't the worst, but it's bad. This isn't the worst, but it's bad. Stukov gonna be in a weird spot now. Stukov gonna be in a weird spot. Melee assassins, Kerrigan. What? If anybody wants to chime in on this one, be my guest. Oh snap, we got some Valera in here. Sinister Strike, I can't talk. Energy cost reduced from 30 to 25. Okay, now currently Q build is the only way to consistently play Valera by blowing people up. And going into the level 4 talent was how you could combo somebody and then going into 16. So open up with your Garrote, Q, and then Q again, and then you would E pre-16. And then you would get a chance for a little bit more going on there. But your Q is the only way that you can really combo. Post 16, it's E, Q, E, Q, Q, E. Or some variation of that. So this having energy cost reduction is somewhat appealing. It kind of opens up some other talent possibilities while still allowing you to use your Q in a fight. If you missed your Q in a fight, GG, I can't play this hero anymore. This doesn't fix the Valera issues. I actually talked about this a couple of days ago. Having no self-sustain on Valera, she doesn't have a place in the meta. Really high health pool is not going to do it. And a couple of block charges, definitely not going to do it. So the Q talent is still there. I'll have to do a combo to see how that acts. I don't know how that works now on whether you still need this. Smoke bomb armor increase from 30 to 60? What? Why? What? What am I looking at? Wait, that's at level 10. Wait, unless there's something wrong here. Okay. If this is 60 armor at level 10, and this is 75 spell armor, Smoke Bomb starts to get a lot more appealing. Starts to get a lot more appealing. Okay, 60 armor for 5 seconds. Hold on. Let's just go into try mode real quick. Either the patch note's wrong or the game is wrong, and we'll know in a second. All right. That's a lot of armor. What does the 20 do? Regen energy while you're in it. Okay. So 60 armor is a lot of armor for 5 seconds. Now, the only thing that Cloak of Shadows has other than the spell armor is the ability to be unstoppable, which can sometimes be the difference between living and dying. But Smoke Bomb giving you just raw 60 armor. Now, to be fair, I don't know why it's 60 armor, because technically nobody can auto attack you in smoke. Because you're unrevealable. So I don't know how that works. I don't know. There might be some random heroic or something that does 50 damage. I actually don't know off the top of my head here. So it's kind of like 60 spell armor. Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of AoE auto attack talents or AoE like physical damage. So I mean, the 60 physical armor is going to be not that worrisome. Oh my, Cassia nerfs are coming in. Basic attack damage reduced from 125 to 120. Big. Lightning Fury reduced from 165 to 158. Boy, our ranged meta is going to be crazy. If Tychus is at the end of this, we're in trouble. They had her Q originally really undertuned, and then they buffed the level 1 quest that gave it the baseline damage, and they buffed this, which was very surprising to me because it just kind of pushed everything beyond the old threshold, and the old threshold wasn't super terrible. Fin damage reduced. Hopefully, this isn't going to change everybody that thinks that E is the end-all be-all of playing Cassia. Oh, that's the only nerfs. It's just her base damage. Huh. Okay. Phoenix no longer requires the primary target to be a hero to slow enemies in an area. Okay. 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 Big dog plays. Horrifying can no longer be interrupted and put in a 10-second cooldown if Gul'dan is stunned while it is being cast. This has always been very tilting. If you interrupt a Horrify and then he comes right back and presses R again, everybody's like, bruh, come on, man. So this kind of puts it like Thrall's abilities like Earthquake and Sunder. So if you press the button, it goes off. I think that's okay. That's okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This is Big Pogs. This is my number one pick always. Bro. Sign me up. I'm in. I'm in. I am in on this. I am in on this. I am in on this. But does that mean I have to go the other talents? Definitely not the level 1. Maybe the level 4. No, I don't even need the level 4 because I went level 1. I know I don't need more mana. So that means I still go same build and I go Twin Sphere. So I get 2 charges, which means I can put Living Bomb on everything and punish you if you're anywhere near it, while also getting potentially 15 spell armor. Let's test something. Applying Living Bomb on Flame Strike is really strong. Really strong.
Choose a talent. 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 Choose a talent.
Exhilarating.
Right. What we're going to be focused on is this right here. Okay. We're good. We're good. We had to make sure it didn't stack. Unless those weird things on the side don't count. But it doesn't stack.
Greetings, warrior.
Okay. Okay. That's still a really big Pog talent. That is actually really cool. Nazebo, adjusted functionality. Hitting enemy heroes with Plague of Toads grants 30 armor, stacking up to... Oh. I think they should probably read this. Or word this slightly differently. Stacking up to... Oh, stacking... Oh, I thought it said stacking up to 4 times. I need to learn to read. Okay? Stacking up to 4 seconds. So this is really good for shotgunning people. So like if a Genji gets on top of you, you just shotgun him. That way you can deal with dive. That's basically all this is to deal with dive so you can shotgun people. Quarterback bonus damage reduced from 20 to 10%. Still good. Still good. Still good. Recklessness. Basic attack damage bonus from 20 to 15%. Adjusted functionality. While below 50% health, basic attacks against heroes grant an additional stack of you on axe. This allows you to toe the line a lot crazier. Holy shit. I'm going to have to edit this. I need to mark that because I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. I'm going to have to edit that out. Wow. This will reward you for being, wait for it, reckless. Reckless. Okay, this is... Hey, look, it's Reckless Ron. That was all for... yeah, that was rough for just Tychus. Basic attack damage increased by 15%, and... man, that is actually crazy. I don't know how many people are going to do that, but you're going to see some memers that will definitely be trying to make this work. And it might work. Slow duration is increased by 0.5 seconds. That's okay. This kind of helps you peel for yourself a lot. So the slow is not super big, so it goes from 2 to 2.5 seconds. So getting the slow there is nice. Cooldown reduced. Additional functionality. If no heroes are hit, reduce the cooldown to 10 seconds. What? Bro, that is... I make it 15. 10 seconds to just like throw this out at random all the time. If you miss, shouldn't be rewarded for being bad. I mean, 45 seconds says you might not have a talent if you miss it, but additional functionality, basic attacks against enemy heroes marked with Grievous Throw deal an additional 2 per... oh my god. Oh my. Oh my. It's like, look, man, can we get something other than just like a counter pick? Because that's all this is. But now you have Giant Killer on your queue. That's really good. Garrosh already hates this talent. Can you imagine like being a Garrosh and be like, guys, I took 3 autos. GG. That's actually really cool. I think that kind of makes it necessary so that if there's no armor on the other side, why even pick this talent? It's just like a dead talent. So they're making sure that it at least has some value in every game. So I like the change. That's actually pretty neat. Bug fixes. Wrath of Cod now properly follows dot rules. Melting Point now properly follows dot rules. Okay. Okay, so the big winners, and I mean big winner, might actually be the one, the only Meatball Lord himself, Ragnaros. Bro, if you hit 5 times and you re-roll this, like after you're finished, you're talking about a 5-second cooldown. Hold on, let's look at the travel time once it's finished. For 1.75 seconds, which means it rolls for an additional... so it goes to 2.25 seconds. So that means you basically have a 2.5 second downtime on Meteor. 2.5... yeah, new ARAM God. You have a 2.5 second cooldown. Downtime, I should say. 2.5 second downtime on your Meatball.